PEMF is amazing. And what's amazing about it is it highlights how magical your body is. Welcome. I thought I'd start the new season with something simple to make a video on, something that's very beautiful, very nice, something that I share with a lot of people, something that I'm really passionate about. I needed something easy to dive back in. Yeah, I've been gone for a while. It's summer and I ride horses and yeah, I just ride a lot. But anyway, what I want to build for the first thing this year would be the mini mat. One of the single most powerful and useful little thing I've ever done. And I'll show you guys all the upgrade that I've made to it and all the change, and we'll talk about why I made those changes. And along the way, we'll talk about some of the benefit of the mini mat versus the big mat, and also some of the downside of the mini mat versus the big mat. And we'll talk about a bunch of stuff. We'll just catch up. Don't mess around with the power supply. Use the one that I'm telling you to use. That's just too important. The case is incredible. I'm not sponsored by any stretch of imagination. I'm too small, but it's a good case, and I got a 3D print for it. So if you want to build your own and you want to use the 3D print for it, it's a good setup. It costs a lot of money to make things look good, and it also requires a lot of ingenuity and a lot of thought. So I laid all that foundation for you guys. So I got a lot of questions about how I started this journey of mine, and it's very simple. Basically, at the foundation, there's a company that showed up here and then showed me a PEMF for the horses, and they also had a human mat, and I tried that, and oh my goodness, I'm sure I felt something in my neck. I got 3 bulged vertebrae in my neck, and I couldn't move my head at all. As always, permanent whiplash, and I was in constant pain. I could never find a pillow that would help me sleep at night. So I tried that mat, and oh my goodness, it made me feel better. But when I wanted to buy one and when I tried, there's no way I could afford that. It was too much money. It was over $10,000 at the time. So because of my background, I decided, well, why don't I just build one myself? So I got into it, I started diving into it, I started researching the whole thing, and next thing you know, I built my first prototype. Don't mess up with the power supply. That's one of the biggest mistakes most people make when they build this. The power supply is basically your bloodline. The second most important part is the coils, obviously, and then the frequency generator. But if you don't have a good power supply, it's junk. And a lot of people like to cheap out on the power supply. You see a lot of PEMF design out there that have a tiny little power supply. And like when I put on the oscilloscope and stuff like that, you check it out, and you just have a messy signal because you got no woomfa coming from it. The ZK is an incredible frequency generator. The thing works beautifully. I mean, it makes a nice big square wave. It can take the woomfa. It's solid. It's a tank. It lasts forever. I mean, I've fried a bunch of them, putting them to torture tests, but you know, at the end of the day, they're good. Another question I get asked a lot is if I get a lot of emails and talk to a lot of people. The answer to that is yes, I do. Some of the stories I hear are so sad, like failure of the healthcare system, people just giving up on getting healed, and they're looking for alternative. Some people just at the end of the road, basically, right? And some stories are just sad. I mean, I've had a few people that I was talking with that passed away since. I also get a ton of awesome stories. I mean, like, just incredible turnaround. from people with depression, from people with anxiety. I also get people with arthritis that just all of a sudden the pain went away. It took a long time, like 3 months, but it did. Some people with angina attack, like getting like 3 to 4 angina attack a week, and all of a sudden they go months without having any problem whatsoever. The body is an amazing thing. The machine is not magical. The machine highlights how magical your body is. So we got the switch installed that turns the power on and off. We got the ZK wired. We got the power supply in there in this beautiful case. We 3D printed the bezel. Now we just need to close it all up. And this is where my hot glue gun comes in pretty handy. I love this little toy. So just glue in the switch and the strain relief so it doesn't come apart. And then I simply pushes the bezel. The 3D printing is like tight. So when you push it in, you gotta push it in really hard, and it's a press fit, and it doesn't come apart. It's very elegant, very simple. It's very rugged, and it's like, it works. It really works well. Okay, so let's quickly recap where we're at in the build so far. If you go on the Patreon, there's like the schematic is there if you want to know granularly. Like if you're somebody that needs help with that, just go to Patreon and just get the help over there. For most people that usually build this stuff, they know electronics well enough that the explanation I'm about to give is pretty much all you're going to need. So let's dive into this. So we have our power supply, and please buy this power supply. Don't cheap out, okay? It's going to save you a lot of grief. Now the power supply has got to have a positive and negative, but anyway, you bring that into your box with a strain relief of some sort. And you're also gonna need a little, you could solder it together if you want, but I like to use those little Wago connectors. They work really well. And I connect the positive of the power supply to that, and out of that I go to my switch. And then out of my switch I go, oh wait, we need this first, the 3D printing system. And then out of the switch we go to the positive of the ZK. I bring the negative of the power supply directly to the ZK, and also bring the negative side of the switch to the ZK at the same time. Not that I switch it, but it's to turn the LED on that switch. Finally, we have the mat and the coils, which we're going to talk about next. The mini mat has been an incredible invention. People use it for their pets, their cats, their dogs. People use it when they're driving. They got an inverter in the vehicle, they plug it in and they put it up there. It's also been really good to target specific region. A lot of men with not inflated, but like their prostate has got inflammation basically. They found that sitting on the mini mat has been helping them tremendously. It's really non-invasive and it's nice, so it's kind of a good thing. If you have a headache and a migraine, they work great for that. If you travel a lot, they work great for that. They're also an amazing gift to give people. And the good thing about this is my wife loves it because in the winter, she increases the duty cycle. Remember, increasing the duty cycle does not make the mat more powerful. All it does is it makes more heat. So it becomes a little bit of a heating mat to keep it warm in the winter. Also, if you do have back pain, having a little heat helps quite a bit. I give instruction how to use it and stuff like that. And if you've been around the channel for a while, you know all about the ZK and how much I love it. For the people that made a mat too, I get that when they live down south, further south, closer to the equator, they never use the heat. But the further north you got, a lot of people like the heat in the winter. It's a good thing. Building the actual mat itself is not really complicated. You got all the coils. If you don't know how to build the coils, just watch other videos that talk about that. You have to line them up properly, and if you don't believe me on that, watch some other videos that I've made. If you don't line up your coil, you're wasting your time. And then you just put everything together, and what the heck, it's just beautiful. It's portable, it's light, it's huggable, it's great. So let's talk about some of the changes. I now use 3 coils in series times 2, and I parallel them together. 95 wraps, 95 mil, same as usual, no change there. I use the 19.5 power supply, 9.25 amps, 180 watts. And there's no more resistor, there's no more fan, there's no more any of that. I learned over the years, simplify stuff. I mean, like, this is basically what I'm trying to do, make everything simpler and simpler all the time. Less moving part, less electronics. Keeps the price down and makes it more portable and easier to build. So those are some of the big changes over the years that has happened. My simulation showed that the way I placed the coils, they really shunt each other, they help each other in a tremendous way, and they make themselves, the penetration is insane on this guy. I mean, the Weber count is not as big as on the 15 coil mat, it can't be, but the area that it covers, it has, if you're to scale that to the big mat, you would have to add another 5 to 10 coils on the big mat to equal that type of surface area that you cover on the mini mat. So that's one good thing about the mini mat. The big mat covers you from the toes to your head. I make the big mat with 15 coils now too, and it's just amazing. We're gonna make a video on that soon. The mini mat is great over the big mat because it's portable, because it's a lot cheaper, and because you can target specific area with it. The big mat is superior to the mini mat because it covers you from the toes to the tip of your head, and you're inside of a giant bubble. And I don't want to get into the biology of it or the physics of it right now. We'll just keep this video light, because like I said, I'm just getting back into a swing of thing here. But I love the big mat, and I adore the mini mat. I mean, it's kind of a love thing like that. I mean, they're so perfect in each other. Okay, so when you got everything together, what you end up with is your power supply. I took the plug into the wall off. Goes into this beautiful little strain relief right here. You got your beautiful little ZK inside the case. You got your power switch right here. You got whatever length of cord you desire up here. And then you got your mini mat. And yeah, this thing is like huggable. It's so soft. Anyway, you can use it whichever way you want. You can use it under your pillow, under your vehicle when you're driving. You can use it like this. It also is great as a pet mat. It's just a beautiful thing. I hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making it, and it's glad to be back. And my racing season is almost over. I just got a couple more races to do with my horses, and we'll start making videos like we used to. So I'm going to commit to make one more video in September, October, and then after that we'll get on a more regular basis over the winter. So glad to be back. Leave a comment, subscribe, and send me an email if you have any question or if you desire something. Talk to you guys soon. Be safe.